Hi, Dr. Karen Can here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. Every week I give you a summary of what's going on energetically in this world and how it may affect you, especially if you are a sensitive soul. And this week is no different. However, we've had some interesting things happen. In fact, yesterday, this is being recorded on a Thursday. So yesterday was the 19th of February. And I noticed that, well, it took me a little bit of time to notice that I was kind of irritable. And I'm normally pretty even-keeled mood-wise. I'm like, like pretty even-keeled, like no major, ups or downs. Well, maybe ups from time to time, but, no major downs anyway. And I was getting pretty darn irritated. Now, I love it when I catch it really early, but sometimes I don't. So, about 10 minutes goes by, and then I finally like, wait a second. This isn't my baseline. And I'm like doing stillness, and I'm feeling all this, this energy. And I was like, maybe I should ask whose stuff is this, right? So I do, and it was mass consciousness. Now, what I do if I'm feeling the emotions of mass consciousness, that's like all people's subconscious, like all over the planet, then I check my boundaries. So I checked my boundaries. They were 100% intact. So this was part of my superpowers, or you have superpowers too. So this is my empathy, like my empathetic superpowers were like, whoo, so so I was feeling this irritability that was from mass consciousness, or that I was tapping into the irritability from mass consciousness. So as I normally do, I just go, okay, send some healing, right? So I just grab my little Ascension 3 necklace and I just say, okay, send healing to mass consciousness. A few minutes later, nothing happens. I'm like, okay, I must need to know something. So that's what usually happens, is that if I send healing and nothing happens, that means I usually have to know something. So I thought I would do the quick way first, but in this case, I did have to know something. So I had to know why mass consciousness was, having this conniption, and I was feeling it. So I was feeling it because I need to do a healing, which I got. I get it. I do this very often for, global, universe, whatever. However, in this case, I had to know the details. So I do my Topocan healing method technique, and I find some details. Well, and I asked Source, am I supposed to share this publicly? And I guess the answer was yes this time. So I do this kind of stuff quite a bit, but a lot of times I don't publicize it because I don't want people to necessarily get freaked out or scared or anything like that. But I guess, this time I'm getting a yes, a go ahead to go tell you. So I'm going to tell you. So what it was a form of an attack. So it was an attack on the masses from a non-human or non-dimensional alien species. And often when these happen, I'll just check in to see if it's a device, like a mind control device, or a negative thought form generator, or something like that that's beaming, so-called beaming negative energy to people. And it wasn't that. What it was actually telepathy. So there was quite a number of the ninth dimensionals in concert doing this telepathic, quote-unquote, attack on humans. And the funny thing is my thought was like, wow, they're really organized. What if we were that organized in our peace? Can you imagine what we could be doing? Anyway, that's what my thought process is. So there's hundreds of them, doing the telepathy and attacking our right temporal lobe. And I'm like, okay, anatomy, neuroanatomy, what's in the right temporal lobe, memory. I don't even, like, maybe something about, so those of you up on your neurobiology, please let me know. But somehow it was going here. So I was like, okay. So then I said, okay, now I know what's going on. Do I need to know anything else? Yes, okay. So what is it? Well, and all of a sudden I got this sense, or this feeling, or the almost, you could say it's clairaudient, just love, unconditional love. And so I was like, oh, okay. Well, before, when I tried to send the healing earlier, I wasn't kind of allowed to because I needed to know the details of this quote unquote attack. So I was like, okay, so now that I know the details, then it's like allowed, then we know what it is, and then we can send love. So I'm just like, okay, let's send some love. So I'm going into that vibration of unconditional love. And just, whether it's alien, human, whatever, we broke the telepathic hold and did some cleanup. Cleanup meaning kind of reversing some of the quote unquote, at least temporary energetic damage of that telepathy, and got, healing to wherever it needed to go. Oftentimes, if there are quote unquote aliens doing not so great stuff, it's not, let me clarify. It's not only a one-way street, meaning that it's like, oh, they're bad and we're good. No. No, we're all capable of being quote unquote bad, doing things we're not supposed to, doing things that are against the prime directive, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Now, one of the things that makes us vulnerable to telepathic attack is that the light score of mass consciousness needs to be at a minimum amount or minimum level to be, let's just say, impervious to that kind of attack, or that the universe does not allow, these kinds of things to happen. I know in the Ascension Mysteries book by David Wolcock, he talks about this, where, if he missteps, using some sort of self-judgment or self-hate or anything like that, anything like lying and stuff like that, he can feel the entities come on, like, whoa, we got a chink in the armor, let's go attack this guy, But the thing is that if we ourselves are authentic, we are truthful, honest, we have high integrity, we love each other, you know what I mean? Then it's like entities don't have any way of really having any power. In this case, they could be attached to aliens, but they could be equally attached to humans, right? So they'd be attached to aliens that then do this, attack on us. But this attack wouldn't happen if our light score as a collective was over 79%. And entities wouldn't really have a lot to do either if our collective was a light score of over 80-something%. I can't remember the exact number, but 80-something. So here's the thing. The good news is that mass consciousness used to be at a light score of in the 40s. And now it's in the 60s, early 70s, something like that? Yeah, I think we've almost hit 70. And that keeps changing. So it's getting higher. Cool. So yes, even though we get attacked from time to time, okay, and some of us are supposed to help out in this way, and most people are oblivious to it, and that's fine. We just know that it's a limited time thing. It's not going to continue. Just you keep working on your consciousness, being in stillness, vibrating at a higher level of love, not judgment. So the reason I guess I'm allowed to tell you what's going on is that it's to help, send that message. It's not bad, judging, polarity, they're bad, we're good, they're attacking us, blah, we're victims. No, it's like, hey, yeah, the stuff happens, okay? And we as a collective have a responsibility to each other to work on our stuff, to heal the low vibrational stuff, and it doesn't mean that it's easy. No, sometimes you have to go through the muck in order to get to that higher vibrational state. I think anybody that says, oh, love and joy, all the time, if I test them a light score of less than 95%, I really doubt that that's really true, okay? You're just pretending or just hoping, right? But sometimes it is difficult. Sometimes it is yucky. Just like the other day when I was feeling, irritable, it happens, okay? The only difference is I just, get to, like 10 minutes later, get to figure out, wait a second, maybe it's not my stuff, right? So in this case, the minute I was allowed to do the healing, sent unconditional love, didn't even do formal Topican healing per se, sent unconditional love, it all dissolved away. And that's the power of unconditional love. Cool. Yeah. So that's exciting news for this past week. Now, we're not actually even in the ascension resistance phase of the ascension cycle, which is normally where we see a lot of entity activity. But in this case, alien activity happened. We are currently in the ascension phase, the rising phase of the ascension cycle. Now, you might go, wait, I watched your video last week, and you said we were actually in the resistance phase, so doesn't the integration phase come next? And the answer is yes, it does. And guess what? It came and it went. So between the time I recorded last week's Spiritual Medicine Digest, which I do a couple of days before we release it on the email, we had already switched over by the next day to the next phase, which was the Ascension Integration phase. And because I did not give you a nice little slide on that, I thought I'd do that today to share a little bit about it, just in case you have some leftover healing that needs to be done for that phase. So right now we're in the Ascension Rising phase, which means that our challenge as especially highly sensitive souls is to be able to ground those higher frequencies and dimensional energies, ground. So you might notice maybe if they're not grounding that there's some energy stuck around here or in the shoulders, that kind of thing. So you want to do your grounding exercises. And then you can look a couple of videos back of the nice little picture I showed you about the 4 different ways you can ground. Okay, so check that video out in the Spiritual Medicine Digest a few weeks ago. So I'm going to show you now my nice little slide here on the Ascension Integration phase, which we already passed, but just in case you missed it, there might be some little, sometimes physical glitches, things that are occurring that doesn't feel quite right. Sometimes you might have a little pain here and there, some stiffness, just some other, emotional glitches. It can be in any part of your body. So what we do in Topicana Healing is we ask how happy or how well can we fully integrate the newest ascension energies. And we want that number to be 100%. And so what we ask is, how well can we integrate the ascension energies physically, okay? And then mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. Because you kind of have a body, quote unquote, for all those things. Your physical body, mental body, emotional body, energetic body, spiritual body. I like to divide the energetic and spiritual body into 2 different bodies. It's just, it's just my vernacular of, how I divide it up. But basically, you can just ask, am I fully 100% fully integrating the ascension energies physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically? If you do divine muscle testing, get a number out of 100%. You want that to be 100%. And if for whatever reason it is not, and you don't need to know additional information, then you can just do a Topicana Healing directive and just command that it be completely integrated. Now, the simple command for the integration phase is I now command that all ascension energies be fully integrated in all parts of me. And if you want, you can say physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional, and any others I don't know about. In the highest and best way, all directions of time and all timelines where I exist. Thank you. Really, it can be that simple. So let me say it again without the extra. So I now command that all ascension energies be fully integrated in all parts of me and all timelines in the highest and best way, all directions of time with ease and grace. Thank you. So that's your directive for this. If you do divine muscle testing, you would then recheck to make sure that you are fully integrated, so to speak, 100%. And again, we just really went quickly through this phase. So we're now in the rising phase. You're going to ground through this phase. The next phase after that is expansion. And again, you might want to bookmark some of the videos that we've done over the last couple of weeks where we have the nice pretty pictures. So you can kind of remember what do we need to do during each phase, especially if you're highly sensitive. So some announcements. On Monday's Light Warrior Radio Show at 12 noon, I'll be interviewing Selena Maitreya. And she has a really great program called Abundance Starts With You. And we're going to be talking about how we judge ourselves harshly. And some people, I should say I used to be one of them, was an expert self-judger. And how we can turn that completely around into a blessing. And she's going to do some energy work with us. So that's going to be super, super cool. She's going to be talking about practical spirituality. Yeah. So it's going to be super fun. You want to be live on that show if you can, so you can ask her questions, raise your hand, maybe get a mini reading or something like that. So check it out. That is going to be on Light Warrior Radio. If you're on YouTube, I'll just post the link below so you can join us there. And if you can't make it live, you can definitely listen to the replay. So the second announcement is on Tuesday. Now that I'm looking at my calendar, the 25th. So Tuesday the 25th, I will be launching on the Elevated Existence Telesummit at 12 p.m. Eastern. Okay, 12 p.m. Monday, 12 p.m. Tuesday. So 12 p.m. Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about entities, dark forces. So whether you're an expert or you are brand new to entities, it's not something that you need to be afraid of. It's something that you just want to be empowered about and understand, and bring love into the equation. So we are going to be taking some time talking about the different kinds of entities, how you know if an entity or why entities might interfere with your life or someone you love, what to do about it. And we're going to be doing some healing as well. So definitely want to be live if you can on that Telesummit interview, 12 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. And we'll put the link below so you can register for the Telesummit, and you will get emailed directly all the information to make the live show. And the last announcement for today is that we are getting close to the end of February. And in case you have been interested at all in the healing modality that I train and teach called the Topacan Healing Method, where we use divine muscle testing to get answers from source, where we align you with source, get you to ask quality questions, and then activate specific healing frequencies so you can heal whatever it is that you wish to heal. We have actually a bonus that is ending the end of this month, and that bonus is a complimentary 25-minute session with me. So one-on-one session, we get a heck of a lot done in 25 minutes because I divine muscle test super fast. And if you're interested in learning the modality, this is a great time to get in because that's a $550 bonus. Normally, I do not do one-on-ones in the level 1 training program. And if you're interested in that, check it out at topacanhealingmethod.com. Again, at the end of the month, we'll be taking that bonus down. So if you're thinking about learning divine muscle testing and learning how to do the healing that I do, especially all the stuff that we talk about in the Spiritual Medicine Digest, now is the time to join. So topacanhealingmethod.com. And if you're on YouTube, we'll put that link below so you can see it there. So that's it for this week. I look forward to speaking with you next week, and happy ascending. Bye for now. Lots of love.